Hello preppers and emergency communications enthusiasts. In this video, I will explain why a good old-fashioned CB radio is better than any other service when it comes to disasters and emergencies. Let me begin by saying that I hold a GMRS and General Class amateur radio license. I'm also a CB user. And for what it's worth, I'm also a 911 telecommunicator and emergency medical dispatcher. Number 1. Ease of use. It takes very little technical knowledge to operate a CB radio compared to anything else. You simply turn it on, press the mic button, and talk. No CTCSS or poorly executed menus to navigate. CB just works. When preparing emergency communications, you should consider whether your second grader and your grandmother can use the equipment in the event of a true emergency. 2. Minimal infrastructure. Most CB radios can be set up once and rarely need service thereafter. To set up a typical base station, all you need to do is get an antenna up, adjust the SWR, and hook everything up. That's it. With ham radio, there's a significant learning curve that not everyone will have in the SHTF scenario. GMRS radios are great, but they're also technically more challenging than a simple CB base station. The user needs to understand concepts like line of sight, frequency penetration, and antenna selection, plus things like CTCSS. 3. Minimum power requirements. Stock CB radios can run for significant amounts of time off a car or marine battery. This is because they output under 4 watts, which means less current draw. No fancy power supplies needed. Just hook it up and turn it on. 4. Range. A stock CB radio can communicate up to 20 miles with a proper antenna. This means it can be useful nearby and at a distance. If the trouble is really more than 20 miles away from you, you don't have an emergency. 5. AM is king in emergency communications. There's a reason the aviation industry uses AM for aircraft communications. Only AM allows 2 or more users to be heard at the same time. 6. Fewer users. Lots of people own GMRS, FRS, and amateur radios. You can bet those popular modes will be busy in a local emergency, making it harder for you to communicate. 7. The fallacy of EMCOM. Preppers think that owning a GMRS repeater will provide all the communications they need. But in a true disaster, those few channels will be flooded with chaos because GMRS licensing does not require training in how to properly pass emergency traffic. Add to that, GMRS shares its frequencies with billions of FRS radios and non-licensed enthusiasts. Amateur radio operators have a shared fantasy that in an emergency, they will provide the communications needed to get civilization back on track. False. EMCOM in amateur radio is focused on serving institutions who also participate in the amateur radio infrastructure. Unless your entire family is qualified, your amateur station is not going to be much help in this kind of a situation when the grid is down indefinitely. Preppers believe that in an emergency, it is permissible to transmit on any frequency. This will jam amateur radio communications, making formal traffic extremely challenging. Remember, there are millions and millions of Bofeng radios out there that can transmit on VHF and UHF, everywhere from amateur radio to GMRS to MURS to marine. And none of these so-called preppers are following any sort of rules as far as what they can transmit and where they can transmit it. This is going to stomp all over amateur radio communications. All this said, your CB setup does matter. It's not a myth that antenna matters more than anything else. In a follow-up video, I'll show you how to set up a functional CB system that your entire family can use.